Hey guys, my name is Marshall Boen, and come with me on the fishing trip of a lifetime to catch the new unofficial Idaho State Record for the white sturgeon. This fish measured in at a whopping 10 feet 6 inches long. I'm still blown away. This thing was an absolute monster. The only question is, what crazy fishing adventure can I do next to top this one? Comment below. I'm super curious to hear what you guys have to say. And without further ado, let's get into it.
The Columbia River has some of the largest sturgeon on Earth and is where Jeremy Wade caught his fish that was 8 foot 10 inches and he estimated weighed around 300 pounds. The river is the largest in the Pacific Northwest and goes all the way from Canada through several states and exits on the west coast near Portland, Oregon. Where we're fishing is the Snake River, which many of the big sturgeon from the Columbia River will go up and migrate to. And we drove through the town of Lewiston. Our guide was based in Moscow, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the part of the Snake River where we were, in Hell's Canyon. And Asotin is where we stayed. This little feeder of the Snake River is the Grand Ronde, another beautiful river in its own right. We started our trip at Flathead Lake in Polson, and this is the route we took down through many amazing towns and through the Flathead River, which also feeds the Columbia. Went through Coeur d'Alene, which reminded me of the Ironman I did several years ago. Great memories of that. And then we ultimately made our way to Lewiston and to our beautiful little Airbnb in Asotin. The next day we were up bright and early, ready to pursue monster white sturgeon. To catch monster fish, you are going to need some heavy-duty fishing gear. That's exactly what our guide had for us, with big ocean fishing pen reels, large hooks, big baits, and braided line that was 120-pound plus breaking force, and my favorites, the Ugly Stick Tiger rods. I fished a ton of these. They come in all different weights and they are phenomenal and super heavy duty. And of course, big weights to get you down to the bottom where those fish are patrolling and waiting for their next meal. Kyle's boat had a phenomenal 250 horsepower motor that just shot us straight up through the river. Going through the rapids, we got a few little splashes that kept us cool in the super hot weather. Within an hour, I was on my first ever sturgeon. This guy was about 3 feet long and about 15 years old. He had razor sharp scoots, those bony plates on his side. And as they get bigger, they get worn down. He swam off super strong. We headed up the canyon, saw some beautiful herons, pelicans, and stopped at this mulberry tree and had some of its delicious fruit. And we marked our first fish on the fish finder. You can tell this black dot fully resembles a sturgeon, its tail, its body, and even its snoot. My grandfather was on to his first fish, making 3 fish for the first day, and what a way to start your first day of sturgeon fishing. Nothing monstrous on the first day, but what a blast to see these dinosaurs up close and personal and to get a taste for what was to come. Along the river, there were some really awesome, totally off-grid houses and cabins, including one that had a helipad, and there's even a U.S. mail boat that goes up to deliver mail because there are absolutely no roads to those houses. Every day for lunch, Kyle grilled up delicious burgers with all the fixings. It was crazy to see that this part of Idaho even had cactus. And here's a suckerfish. This is something that the sturgeon are feeding on. And here's also a carp, which when smaller, I'm sure the sturgeon are feeding on those as well. At that same stop for lunch, I saw these baby fish fry. And I don't know what species they are, and if you do, please comment below, but hopefully they'll grow up into monster fish. Ending the day, we went down some fun rapids in this boat, and it made for a heck of a ride. We also got to see this beautiful great blue heron flying against the canyon walls, reminding me of something from Jurassic Park. This eagle was also defending his catch from these pesky crows. Beyond just fishing on the Snake River, there are some incredible multi-day rafting trips. This is a whole group of rafters with a small kicker motor to speed things up, and there's also jet boat tours for half day and full day, depending on how far you want to go up the canyon. On day 2 of the trip, we got to see Bambi and this monster buck on our way to the boat ramp. There was also this incredible osprey that built his nest on a designated nesting area made from this power pole. A few miles down the river, we got to see the efforts of making that habitat for the osprey really pay off. This guy dove for a fish, and I think he missed it, but it was beautiful to see him try, and he did a little shake to get the water off his wings. He flew right overhead, and it was gorgeous to see this ultimate fishing bird. We started fishing on our second day and cast out into some deep holes, and it took a while and a few spots, but I was rewarded with another sturgeon, which was an absolute blast to catch one that was even bigger than my first. While waiting for fish to bite, we got to see this whole family of turkeys, including all these baby turkeys, which is something I'd never seen before. When we stopped the boat to take a quick break, we got to see these 2 deer hiding in the mulberry tree and eating all the mulberries off the ground. We once again headed deep into the canyon. After pulling up to a spot, we witnessed a massive fish roll. The rod started to twitch, the hook was set, and the rod doubled over, but the fish did not budge. At that moment, there was no doubt that the monster we had seen, the monster fish of my childhood dreams, was at the bottom of the river, and the only question was, would this Goliath of the depths escape into the dark waters below, or would I be able to strain every muscle in my body to bring him in? With the reel set on max drag at 30 pounds, the fish zipped out meter after meter after meter of line, making a massive run that seemed like it would never end. There was nothing I could do. I would gain an inch, the fish would take several feet. The line twinged as taut as a bowstring, slicing through the water, with the beads and droplets flying off it. Every time I gained significantly on the fish, it was only the behemoth gaining his strength for another run, each seeming to take out more line than the last.
Oh, he's running. It's a good run. Still running.
The battle went on.
Gosh, what a beast. I have so much respect for this fish.
My hands blistered from trying to crank in the reel as hard as I could, despite having gloves on.
That's the best arm mark I've ever had. What a dinosaur.
That thing is huge.
They roll. It seems like that's an active fish. Like they just ate something.
They're hungry.
Yeah, something seems like they're willing to play.
Every muscle in my forearms and biceps begged for reprieve. My forehead began to drip with sweat, and the fight continued on.
Oh, he's just straight down now. Oh, jeez. Let's take a line again. Holy cow.
I can't believe this. I would have flew in so fast. Shit.
Holy cow, that's a lot of effort that just went by.
How's that feel?
I know. Could have rode that home.
That's always demoralizing. They just got all that back.
That was like 15 minutes of work right there.
Yep.
16 minutes right now.
Still going. This fish is not even slow on this. Oh, that was a jolt.
These fish had been caught back in the day with a team of horses that would pull them out of the river, and there is no question that that is what it would have taken to pull out these massive fish.
Every inch of this is a battle.
The fight, however, was not finished, and as 1 minute turned into 5, and then 10, and then 20, and then to 30, and then to 35, and so on, both the fish and I were at our limit, but neither was going to give in. The fish pulled the 20-plus foot boat, and we kicked on the engine to chase it.
It's taking line again. He's right. He's right. Might get 4 for you, though.
That is insane.
Oh, come on. Lift. He's taking line. What an adventure. Holy cow, look at that.
That's a big fish.
Look at that.
That's actually not the
See
fish
it?
that rolled. That's
Look at
fish.
Whoa!
That's not. Holy sh!
That's not the fish that rolled.
Marshall!
That is not the fish that came
Oh,
up.
I don't think so
I
either.
thought that was.
It's a monster. Just be careful when he pulls in so you don't fall or anything.
His belly touches that, he's gonna be pissed. So just be ready. Things get pretty wild sometimes. We're gonna hit land here, guys, so brace yourself.
Yep.
Finally, we beached the boat on a sandy bank, perfect to land the fish, thinking the fight was nearly over. We could not be more wrong. The moment the boat struck the land, the fish bolted all the way across the river.
Still going. It's his last, maybe second to last go. He's not giving in. He's not giving up. And he's got the muscle to do whatever he wants.
After bringing the fish nearly into view, our guide warned me that as soon as the fish saw light and felt the water shallow, it would give everything to escape, and another heroic run began.
He's going again. You feel that tail smack that line.
Oh, that's insane.
Oh, I thought he was done running.
It's 9-11.
I'm gonna get a good shot of you here.
Pulling lines like crazy. This is one of his bigger runs yet. This thing's not going down. He's still going. He's still going. Thank you, Kyle. That's a fish of a lifetime right here. This is his biggest run yet, and I thought we were done with this fish.
This fish, our guide explained to me, employed its swim bladder that keeps it normally buoyant to sink by releasing all its air and to become as dense as possible, and made one final, last-ditch effort to fight on.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Woo!
that is nice.
Where is he going? Over here?
He's going out again. Oh, that's a shark.
Seconds later, the phantom white shape slowly rose to the surface, and the enormity of the fish became evident. Kyle jumped out of the boat and landed the fish, turning it upside down to calm it. On the line, I had a fish that had started out as an egg, smaller than a grain of rice, and had beat every single odd, avoided every predator, not being kept by a fisherman after being caught half a dozen times or more, as we saw later when we examined this fish's mouth. After a century, this fish had grown from a tiny black speck to around 600 pounds. Defying the odds like this is nothing short of a miracle.
We made free.
Oh, what a tank. Are you videoing?
Yep.
Go ahead and lift his head up a little bit more if you can. There you go.
Perfect.
I lifted with all my strength. That's as far as I can budge him.
I'm taking pictures, don't worry.
Oh, fish, thank you. Oh, look at his plates.
Yeah. Look
His
how
armor.
smooth they are.
Let's get ready to put him back in the water so he can go off and hopefully make a lot of babies and get even bigger.
Even now, rewatching the footage to make this video for you guys, I can't begin to describe how happy I was to have this fish in my arms and walk it out so that it could swim away and go on to live an amazing life. These fish are so beautiful, and I have so much respect for them. And to walk with one back into its home and to see for just a minute what it looks like as it swam down truly took my breath away, and this is a moment in my life that as long as I live, I will never forget. When we finally got home and took the measurements, my fish measured in at a whopping 126 inches or 10 foot 6. This would have shattered the Idaho State Catch and Release record for white sturgeon, which stood at 10.4, and you need to beat it by 2 inches. So if we would have had a tape measure on the boat, it's a good chance we could have gotten this fish into the record books. But we got it on film, so that's the next best thing. For you to compare, here's the official Idaho State record measuring in at 10.4, and this fish was caught at the CJ Strike Reservoir, which is another place you can fish with Kyle Jones and his team. It's incredible that we caught a fish that's so rare. If you look at just how few fish over 10 feet there are, they've caught thousands of them, and only just a few have been over 10 feet long. And it's truly a miracle that we got this fish, and I feel so blessed that this happened with our trip. At this point, I was on cloud 9. However, the day's adventure was not yet done. Leaving the canyon, we saw an incredible herd of bighorn sheep with a good number of babies and mothers. For those unfamiliar with bighorn sheep, they can endure in some of the hardest, most inhospitable environments and still thrive. On our third and final day of the trip, we saw a beautiful rainbow heading up towards the canyon, and we pulled into the same spot that I'd caught my big fish in, hoping that that other fish we'd seen roll would bite the bait. I'm very happy to say that it did, and my grandfather was on to a monster.
Taking a lot of line.
That's a real one.
Hey, Papa, you're at almost 7 minutes now.
My nearly 80-year-old grandfather at 6'4" was fighting a fish that was older, heavier, and longer than he was tall. All his weekly workouts came into play, and he pumped hard against the fish. He would take line, and the fish would take it back. My grandfather absolutely crushed this battle, and the fish was a fearsome opponent. My grandfather, just like I, could not believe incredible strength that these sturgeon have.
Almost 10 minutes. That rod is doubled down.
It's a much better one to land on. Oh yeah. There we go. We just gotta piss him off a little bit more.
Pulling out some line again. Oh. Only question is, how big is this guy? Because we are at 14 minutes. Yeah, crank that, Papa. Yeah, he is. Boat's coming at him too. Oh! Not yet, but it looked like it for a second. When are we going to see this fish? We're at almost 19 minutes. Oh, he's bubbling. He's bubbling. Oh, probably longer than you are, Papa. There we go. There's your fish. Oh, that is great. Got some killer photos.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're, on the little ones, they're really sharp. And then as they get older, they get all ground out.
Oh,
All right. Oh, yeah.
Smiles once again on our faces, with high fives flying through the air. My grandfather's fish measured in at an impressive 8 feet long, or 96 inches.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means the world to me. And please like, subscribe, and comment so I can make more of these videos. That really helps the algorithm, and I really love the support. I also really want to hear what you liked about this video and what you didn't like so I can make it even better for next time. And please comment below what you think I should do next, what monster fish you think I should catch, or what adventure I should do. I'm super curious to hear your answers. And once again, thank you guys so much and have a great rest of your day.